What's up everybody, JJ Shankles, the Goat Toasters here. Hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. I'm doing an outdoor edition today. We're out on the patio filming this one. Today we've got a lot of video game news, specifically a lot about the PS5 that was announced yesterday, but we'll get to all of that towards the end of this episode. First, I'd like to start with some camera news. The memory card manufacturer Delkin has now announced a CFast card with 2 terabytes of storage, all on one card. With that much storage, that is going to come at quite a price premium. These will be very expensive cards, but quite amazing that they can fit 2 terabytes in one single memory card. And it will also come with some very fast read-write speeds. It's amazing how storage is just growing and expanding. If you were going on a trip, you could just take one of these cards and this would last you an entire trip. The only downside of that is this one chip. If you lost it, or if it broke, or it got corrupted or damaged while writing, you would lose up to 2 terabytes of data. That could be huge if you're a professional out there, but really cool to see that it exists. More news from the company Ecamm. This is the smaller cinema camera startup that's really trying to disrupt the mid-range market for really powerful cinema cameras. They're releasing a new attachment that changes it from an HDMI output to an SDI. This is more of a professional output for these cameras to be able to take it to some nice professional sized monitors. If you're using more simple ones, like I have an Atomos Ninja 5 on top of this camera, and it just has an HDMI input, so I couldn't use an SDI output. Adobe's Photoshop Camera app has now left preview and is now available on the Google Play Store. You can download it for your Android phone right now. This allows you to take pictures and edit them right in the same app, all made by Adobe, so you know it'll be a little bit more succinct. So it'll be a fairly powerful app all in one. And then if you have any issues, you can just take it right to Adobe since they control the entire ecosystem. And in more mobile news, Android 11 beta has now landed. It is available for you to download onto your Android phone. That is, if you like to take risks on your Android operating system. Usually these first betas are still quite buggy and you could lose some data on that. These early betas usually have a lot of missing features or incomplete systems, but you do get to try out some nice new features that are coming to Android 11 beta. I personally would be waiting till a more advanced beta comes out or the full official release comes out. Our next story is on the PlayStation exclusive Horizon Dawn Zero will now be coming to PCs. This was leaked because it was seen bundled with a CPU. This isn't available to be purchased yet, and there had been no news that this had been coming to PC, but this had been seen bundled together with an AMD CPU. I really was hoping this would come to a PC, but a lot of times console exclusives don't make it to PC, and so I didn't have much hope for this one. Luckily, if this leak does come true, then we will be able to play Horizon Dawn Zero on PC. And now onto the PlayStation 5 release. There hadn't been any leaks of what the PlayStation console would actually look like. Now we have those first images out, and I think it looks pretty sleek. Not that aesthetics really matter for a PlayStation. Also interesting with this one, they have the regular PS5 and then a digital exclusive edition that doesn't have a CD drive on there. That's an interesting move, but it makes sense now that games are so much moving towards digital downloads and not having physical discs, because these discs can be scratched or broken or damaged. I know personally I've had some old games that keep getting used and they eventually get scratched up when you're not careful with them, and then you can't play that game anymore. If it's a digital download, even if that file did get corrupted, you've already bought it, so PlayStation would allow you to download a new copy of it. Maybe this is just like Apple taking away our headphone jack. Once they did it, then everyone moved towards that. I know most PCs don't have disk drives anymore, and so it would just make sense that the new PlayStations and Xboxes will kind of start moving towards not having a disk drive. And I really like the aesthetic of this one. The sleek white of this console matches what the leaked controller images had been. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this one. I kind of like how sleek and white and new it looks. Definitely more of a centerpiece than the older PS4s, which were all black and seemed to more blend into a console, or if it was on a table, it just sort of blended in. You didn't notice it was there. And I wanted to cover some of the video games that had been announced to be on this PS5. The big one I was excited for was the Miles Morales Spider-Man game that's coming to PS5. I think he had such an interesting story in Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, the movie that came out, and now diving into it and giving him his own video game is a huge step in the right direction. I think Spider-Man video games are something that they can really dig into and offer some amazing gameplay. So hopefully this one will be an amazing PS5 release. Another one, unsurprisingly, they're gonna release GTA 5 for the PS5. They're saying it will be enhanced and upgraded to be more than just a new skin on it to be able to play it on PS5. GTA 5 is such an old game nowadays. It's surprising that they're gonna bring it out for PS5. GTA 5 is a great game, but it's now probably almost 8 years old now. Seems like it would just be time to move on to the next thing. for a new console, maybe bring us GTA 6, but that's not the plans Rockstar had this time around. Another classic video game is going to have a new release for PS5. Ratchet Clank will be back with their new game, Ratchet Clank Rift Apart. This will be another PS5 exclusive coming out. Since Ratchet Clank has been a PlayStation exclusive for so long, it's exciting when video game developers bring out the classics and reimagine them, being able to create such more advanced video games with the same classic storylines and classic characters we know from previous generations. And still more video game news. Sorry, this episode was so much video game related. Seems like the news is entirely revolving around the PS5. But this new game by Ubisoft is called Gods and Monsters, and a leaked version was put out on Google Stadia. This is an early version of the game that was not supposed to be allowed to be played, but somehow someone was able to download it and played this game a little bit. It's in a very rough stage. Some of the character models were still just white blocks. It's an open world game set around the Greek mythology sort of universe. Definitely an interesting game if they can do it right, but that about wraps it up for today's news. If anything I said was infactual or I missed a story you wanted me to cover, make sure to comment it down below and I'll bring it up on the next episode. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure you stay safe out there. Make sure you're washing your hands a lot, and I will see you in the next episode. Go Toaster out.